Previously, on Queer Lens, we saw the soaring mountains, felt freezing temperatures, witnessed sunrise and amusing landscapes, and ate delicious momos. From Darjeeling, we had to ride down to Siliguri. We were on a long scenic journey to Gangtok, Sikkim now. Majority of the ride was along the banks of the Teesta River. The ride was very bumpy. The inhabitants' main occupation seemed to be mining/digging for raw materials. The rocks from the mountains and the silt from the river deposits. The flora along the route was covered by a layer of dust they were digging for. As I am from the south of India, I rarely see rivers containing water, as most of them are seasonal. The river you are seeing now is a perennial river. It is replenished by the glaciers, so it has water all year around. It was magnificent to watch the river flow. We crossed on several bridges. I had bought earphones in Darjeeling, so I was listening to music most of the ride. Believe me, the ride was so long. I was cramped in the back seat of this jeep, and it was throwing me all around. We stopped halfway to eat lunch. The lunch was moderate, but nature compensated for it because she ate. As we proceeded, I saw the river bend and turn. I know they have a name for these turns, but I'm too lazy to search it. I wonder how these places will look when it is raining. After reaching Gangtok, I was so surprised to see it being really developed. They had malls, branded clothing shops, which are in metropolitan cities. That night was so cold. It was a struggle to get a room. Somehow we managed, and after settling in, we gave our IDs for the next day. They told they were going to take us to a frozen lake, but it had a snowfall 2 days ago and is very dangerous on the road. So we decided we would go to some other place instead, which had snow. We were determined to feel snow. No way we came all this way and not make snowballs. They told it's going to be a long way ahead. I had little to no expectations of what was in store for me. We had bought a heater which we used in secrecy as the hotels banned it because it used high voltages of current. I got ready and was ready to get good footage. First, the ride was pretty mediocre. The fog had covered the scenery completely, so even if the landscape was breathtaking, I wouldn't know. There are three checkpoints where we needed to show our IDs. Well, we waited almost an hour at every checkpoint. Saw a small waterfall on the way, it looked malnutritioned. Then, out of nowhere, the road got narrow. The temperature was dropping. We passed a few villages and then saw a board read that we were about 9,000 meters above sea level. More time passed, and coniferous trees started popping out. The trees were so lush, it looked like we were riding in some other temperate country. It felt so magical and unreal. The higher we got, the thicker the barks of the tree got. There was moss growing on the barks. It looked so aesthetic and could not stop myself imagining in regal clothing and jewelry running away from nothing for a music video. I did have my earbuds on. The experience was heightened up to Dolby Atmos. The native people were building and repairing the roads we were climbing. They were in groups having lunch. They looked determined at the same time. It seemed they liked what they were doing. The whole family was helping. As I peeked a little outside and furthered the window, I could see the steepest drop. I slowly realized we are really high. At some turns, the fog used to clear up and give way to the most breathtaking sunrise sceneries. Like literally, the air was thin up here. As we were nearing a village, the skies cleared up, and I noticed white stuff cluttered everywhere. Then the realization hit, and it was snow. It was so white. It looked so soft and fresh. more we ascended, the snow populated landscape increased. We stopped at a place at the side of the road where the mountains looked colossal. We could see small streams of river forming. We clicked pictures with the snow and I felt it. It felt like the snow which forms in refrigerators, but this one is real and really soft. Then we got in the car and rode higher.
Bye bye, sir. It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Yup, the jeep slipped and could not climb anymore. The ice on the road had started melting and made it very slippery. A military vehicle came and helped the driver guide his jeep downhill. Meanwhile, I was making snowballs and terrorizing the people. I had a fun time playing in the snow, but not gonna lie, more snow would have been better. The jeep suffered a broken headlight and severe scratching. The driver on the way to the hotel was very grumpy. He parked the jeep and just took off without saying a word. After a few minutes, I got down and saw it was actually a checkpoint. And there was a toilet. I finally got to piss in peace. Then bought some imported chips. One of them was called Hot Balls, and it really lived up to its name. That night, we took good rest as an adventure filled day awaited us. We went to a Buddhist temple. The view was giving spiritual awakening. Then I visited one of the most beautiful botanical gardens. The plants and trees were alive and they were flourishing. The place was like a maze, a really beautiful one. So much variety in flowers and topography. We entered a greenhouse where there were growing these beautiful flowers, so exotic and colorful. I had so much fun clicking these pictures. It could be used in books, not gonna lie. I never imagined flowers can actually be so saturated. The way everything was arranged was pleasing my brain. There were two water fountains which looked mysterious and ancient. So full of surprises. This place was magical indeed. We heard water flowing and ran towards it. It was a waterfall, so tall and abundant. It looked fierce. A true ski legend. We had to rush a little because we had to eat lunch and catch a train that night. After filling our stomachs, we prepared ourselves for a 6-hour long ride downhill to Siliguri. The ride back was so treacherous. My back was paining like someone had hit me several times. When we returned the railway station, I was disappointed. When we returned to the railway When we reached the railway station, I was disappointed to see people. Ugh, urbanization. Hate it! Sometimes. So much garbage everywhere. The places looked so dirty. But wait, let's not end this episode on a bad note. The railway station from the inside looked aesthetic. Fog amidst the train tracks, the headlights of trains illuminating the other trains. It was truly dreamy. Well, that's all for this episode, folks. See you in Guwahati, Assam. Don't forget, you just got slayed!